36th Street and Shea in Phoenix, we saw some waterfalls coming right off the side of Camelback Mountain this afternoon as well. All kinds of crazy views out there today.
Our First Alert live storm team coverage continues. This is the most rain in a single day since 2018, if you can believe it. Thanks so much for joining us at 5. I'm Nicole Kreitz.
I'm Jared Dillingham. Right now we have people stuck in flooded roads and washes. Major delays at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport due to rolling ground stops, which are still partially in effect right now. And we have crews across the valley covering all of it, including Pete Mangione and the storm commander covering the road conditions, and Sarah Robinson showing some damage from flooding east of the valley near Globe, Miami as well.
Let's start with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Royal Norman. You've been at this for hours, Royal. We appreciate us through this wild weather.
Then the morning crew got started about 10 as these storms formed on the west side. We anticipated they would form a little bit more on the east side, but they ended up forming on the west side. This is one of our weather models that shows that we should be cleared off by about 12:30 in the morning. So those storms will rapidly clear as we get toward the morning hours. So that's the good news. But we do want to reset on the First Alert because it is still in effect for the rest of today. And there's a First Alert day tomorrow. We won't be as severe tomorrow as we were today, but it could be a significant day. And right now we've got flooding going on. Washes are running, water running in the streets. We've got some green belts with water in them as well. And it is a severe thunderstorm watch until 7 p.m., the latest from the National Weather Service. And as we told you last hour, closed tonight. The State Fair is closed tonight. They will reopen tomorrow. First Alert Doppler for you, just to show you that around town, things are easing up a bit. This storm is finally loosening its grip after 7 hours of rain and thunderstorms and hail and flooding. And these showers are moving to the northeast at about 20 miles an hour or so. Checking in on Sky Harbor Airport, maybe some light rain in the area there right now, but nothing too heavy. That's good news to get some of those aircraft moving again. One concern for us now, a big concern, is this line of showers and thunderstorms stretching from Casa Grande north toward the Globe, Miami area. And Miami is right about here near the Inspiration Mine area. And there's a pretty good chance some of that heavier shower and thunderstorm activity could make it back into Miami tonight, which already experienced a bad night of flooding last night. 5 p.m. we've got thunderstorms in the area. By 7:30, they become more isolated around town. And as we get toward 9:30, we think that could be the last of the storms, at least for the nighttime hours. And then they will rekindle again tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at some rainfall totals. We talked about northern Arizona is going to get a little bit of rain out of tomorrow's action, but it looks like most of it's going to be along the Colorado River. Lake Havasu could see 2 inches of rain, and we could see another ½ inch down at Casa Grande. As we zero in on the valley as far as rainfall is concerned, it looks like the West Valley might get the lion's share tomorrow, and we've got a couple of locations that could be up around ½ inch, third of an inch to ½ inch on the west side of town, and then the eastern portions of the valley, maybe less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. So the storm's not quite over for tonight. We still have a few hours to deal with the potential for severe weather. And we've got the First Alert weather day tomorrow where we could see some more big thunderstorms. We'll update the rest of the First Alert 7-day forecast in just a couple of minutes.
Royal, my goodness. We have seen some dramatic water rescues, one live on the air in the last half hour out at the Indian Bend Wash in Scottsdale.
The Wash, this one, a lot of our washes are designed to collect water on days like this, but sometimes people still try to drive through them with the floodwaters. Karina Rubio is live there. Karina, it seems like everybody's okay, but that was pretty dramatic.
Yeah, thankfully everybody is okay, but it was quite the scene here and just kind of crazy to see these technical rescue teams rescue the man who was trapped in the vehicle. You can see right here this scene starting to clear out. There is a police officer here, but that car is still stuck in the wash here, and they have a barricade there, likely trying to alleviate some of the water pressure because the water is gushing here. You can see where that yellow flashing light is. The meter right there reads about 3.5 feet, so definitely some deep water here. And you can also see a picnic table. We just saw that float from the park area here heading toward that car. So the current here is still very strong. And when we first got to this scene, that's right when the rescue started happening, and we saw the man kind of give a thumbs up to the rescue teams here to let them know, hey, I'm okay. But as you can imagine, that had to be a scary situation for the man that was trapped inside this vehicle. So this is right behind an apartment complex. So I talked to somebody who lives in one of the buildings buildings here. She's lived here for about 2 years and tells me she has never seen it get as flooded as it is today. And she says it's definitely kind of a wake-up call for her to say, hey, I'm going to be careful anytime that, you know, I'm taking my car out here and I know that a storm's going to be on the way. Because, again, she says it's never gotten this bad. She's seen maybe about a foot of water here, but not the 3.5 that we're seeing here right now. We do know from officials that that man seems to be okay. No injuries reported. We are working to get more details about exactly how long the man was trapped inside the vehicle. We'll, of course, keep you updated as we learn more on air and online. Reporting for now in Scottsdale, Karina Rubio for Arizona's Family.
Karina, thank you. And, you know, anytime the weather hits, we send Storm Commander to track the action, giving us a look at the roads. Meteorologist Pete Mangione live tonight. Where are you now, and what are you seeing, Pete?
Well, we just get on the 10 here. We were over in Avondale about 20 minutes ago where there had been some pretty bad flooding. A lot of water still on the roadways there, but here as we're getting on the 10 here, you'll notice things are okay. We actually are seeing a little bit of sunshine in the background. Now, it's been one of those days where you've got sun just ahead of us, but if you look in your camera there off to the right of the sunshine, the clouds get a little darker. That is some heavier rain. That's actually been the batch of heavier rain we've been trying to chase here over the past several minutes. So I'd say right now we've got a lot of traffic, although rain fairly light, not really affecting things right now. You still have some of the water on the roadways, and of course more storms. I'm just sort of looking at the radar right now. More storms seem to be maybe popping up a little bit to our south. So it's been one of those days where, you know, it looks like we're done, get peaks of sunshine, and then another storm comes and takes its place. We call that training, where storms kind of form repeatedly over the same area, and that's sort of the situation that we've been in today. But we'll keep you updated. Right now, things on the 10 near Tullison looking okay. A lot of traffic, but not because of rain, just because of traffic volume. But we do have some heavier rain just off to our north that we're going to try to catch up to right now.
All right, Pete, thanks so much. We'll check back in with you in just a bit. All right, let's talk about a couple extraneous issues here because the storms today have had widespread impacts across the valley, including at Sky Harbor Airport, where we have been watching the boards all afternoon.
Crazy.
We have dozens of delays, dozens of cancellations, and Derek Stahl's been tracking all that for us. Derek, we've seen these rolling ground stops at Sky Harbor for the last several hours.
Yeah, on and off ground stops for hours and hours and hours. Let me tell you, if you were at Sky Harbor today or needed to fly out, this was not an extraneous issue to you. You were really feeling the pain here. Right now, we've got an average delay for inbound flights of over 2 hours, 144 minutes. The average delay on an outbound flight is more than almost 4 hours, 235 minutes. So they are landing planes right now. They are having planes take off. Here's a plane coming in from Seattle to Phoenix. It's going to land in the next few minutes. So the things are up and running, but look at this. This is the big board. They got 415 flights delayed at Sky Harbor right now, 83 canceled. For a while, we were the most delayed airport in the entire world, ahead of Nice, ahead of Albania. Las Vegas has just overtaken us, so we are now the second most miserable place to fly in and out of, according to Flight Radar 24. The other thing I want to talk about is some of the flood channels. Look at this. This is a shot here. This is live of the I-17, I-10 split. We've got some crews working with a Bobcat down there. They're trying to clear out these flood channels and the canals and the washes because these things have been really, really active. And if I come back to the storyteller here, take a look at this. So this is a look at the Granite Reef Wash. The Granite Reef Wash is in Scottsdale. It's over near kind of like the Loop 101 in McDowell area. This is not the exact wash where we saw the water rescue, but it's very close to it. Right now it's running at about 6 feet in terms of the flood stage. That's above the bank full stage. Earlier today, it was just below 7.76 feet. Well, that's significant because the 7.76 feet is the all-time record set in September of 2014. We were just 1 inch short of the all-time record here. And take a look at what happened on that date. If I can bring it up, bring you back in time a little bit, back in the video vault. This is September 8th of 2014. So this is when the Granite Reef set the all-time record for its flood stage. And we had crazy, crazy flooding that day. Look at that. So, I mean, we're dealing with a situation, that's going to be remembered for quite some time. If we remember 2014, all of the roads and things like that were flooded. One more point I want to make, this might fit into the extraneous category, but a lot of people are dealing with power outages right now. So let me bring up the map here. This is the state. Looking at Maricopa County, we got 6,793 customers without power in Maricopa County. That is down slightly from about 20 minutes ago when I checked. Statewide, 20 minutes ago, we had 10,000 people without power between Maricopa and Pinal County. So crews are beginning to make a little bit of progress. Looks like they got about 1,000 customers back in the last 20 minutes or so. Most of the problems have been here. With SRP. There's a problem in Scottsdale affecting about 1,300 people. That's right near where that water rescue was that we showed you in one of our earlier broadcasts. This is by 64th Street and McDowell. There's another one here in Mesa and Apache Wells affecting about 1,000 people. So the estimates on when the power is going to get back on, those have been fluctuating. The numbers have been fluctuating, but certainly a lot of impacts we're monitoring here in the newsroom. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Eric, we appreciate it. And while you were talking, I counted 80 flights canceled since noon. So from noon beyond through the night tonight, we have 80 flights canceled at Sky Harbor. The impacts continue.
Yeah, no kidding, Derek. Thanks. Sarah Robinson's live inside Sky Harbor. Flights delayed, and so were many of the rides. Sarah, just trying to get to the airport. It's been a rough day.
Yeah, rough to say the least. I mean, it was a mess when we were trying to get in the airport. We saw cars that were stranded. We saw Waymos that were stranded and blocking traffic. They got stuck in the water where they didn't know what to do in that type of situation. Then when we got to the airport, we saw hundreds of people that have been in line. Many of them have been in line for hours on end because they've had a canceled flight or a delayed flight. Right now I'm with Tina Cunningham. Tina, thanks so much for chatting with me. You told me that you've had a total of 4 flights today. Can you talk to me about that?
Sure. So I got to the airport at 1, was supposed to fly out at 4. That flight got canceled, got rebooked to one at 7. That one got canceled. So then I jumped over to a different airline. So I've got 2 flights still trying to go out, one at 8 and then one at midnight. So hopefully I'm going to get back to Omaha tonight.
Oh my goodness. So you got here around 1. So you've been here for hours at this point.
It's crazy. It just keeps getting busier. So, but normally it's a good airport. Normally I get in and out, but worst case scenario, if I have to spend the night, I do have grandkids that live here. So
okay,
yes,
well that's a relief. So
yes.
You're from Omaha, right? You fly to Phoenix for work.
Yes, work every other week.
Okay. So have you experienced anything like this before?
No, and I've actually been to Phoenix many times and I've never seen this amount of rain either. So it's a crazy day, crazy ride here on the airport too, from the airport to the airport.
Yeah, I think I heard our anchor saying that this is the day that we've had the most rain since 2018. I hope I got that right, but that is pretty crazy to put that into perspective. What do you make of all of the people in this line? I mean, you're one of them.
Yes, I just hope everybody gets home safe and things like this happen, and I know the airport will do the best job to get us home. So,
and I understand that you watch Arizona's Family, so thank you so much for tuning in.
I do.
Yes. Thank you. Well, we appreciate that, of course, and I hope that you get home safely tonight after 4 different possible flights. Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Right, thank you.
Yes.
And thanks for all you do, too.
Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Yeah, we have met so many nice people who are able to remain really strong and calm under these pretty intense conditions and trying to get on flights. It's never fun waiting in this type of situation, especially if you have family across the country and you really need to get there. So it has been a stressful day here, but hopefully things get back on track soon. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
I hope all the passengers are as pleasant and patient as she is. You found a gem there in that crowd, and it's one of those things, your heart goes out to all the folks in the line and all the people who are working, the gate agents who are trying to get you on a rebooked flight or trying to get you where you're supposed to be. So, stressful night at the airport. Sarah, thank you very much. Well, did you have a hail at your house today? Many of us did. We are going to talk about that when we come back. And here's a live look off one of the freeways, off the 17.
And the 10 split.
Yeah, the crews are working to clear those drains there of any debris to keep the water flowing, to keep any of our freeways from flooding tonight. Our first alert weather coverage continues after this.
Good morning, Arizona. On Arizona.
In real estate, everything is in the details. Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant helps me confidently manage contracts so I can keep all parties on the same page. With AI Assistant, I can summarize key details in seconds. It even identifies differences in contracts. And my clients, they can go straight to Adobe Acrobat and sign right there. Adobe Acrobat and AI Assistant help me focus on what really matters, helping people find a place that they can call home.
I want to get you caught up on the traffic situation out there on this Friday evening. As you would imagine, things are not good. Here's a live picture from the I-17 where it hits 7th Avenue. So this is on the south side of downtown Phoenix where the 17 curves. You can see the message board right there, flooded freeway ahead. You could see they have crews out there and a couple lanes are getting by, but we tend to see this every once in a while when we get these strong storms moving through. And ADOT has other crews clearing mud and debris on the I-17 where it connects to the I-10 over near Sky Harbor as well.
Okay, and a quick check of your traffic maps because, I mean, there is just a slew of injury accidents, disabled vehicles on every major freeway, but like from I-10 eastbound out at Verrado to the 87 eastbound at Bush Highway, rocks on the freeway as well. So you're seeing delays, detours. It is a mess out there. So obviously, if you've got people trying to get home, drive much slower than you normally would and expect heavy, widespread delays.
And look at how heavy the storm is right now over the Beeline Highway. So
what a mess.
All right, more to come. Now to some serious news impacting folks northwest of the valley. Following reports for the past couple of hours that 2 people could be missing and that they may have been swept away in a wash.
Our Stephanie Dupre is live from Whitman. What have you been able to learn from the scene there, Stephanie?
Yeah, Nicole and Jared, we're still trying to find the scene. Yeah, the weather has been so crazy and it's been coming down so quickly and so hard that all of the water is just accumulating in so many parts of Whitman that we're having difficulty getting there. The last I heard from MCSO is that search is still underway. And this is just another example. You know, my photographer Gary and I have been in Whitman now for, I would say close to a half hour, maybe not even that. We're trying to get in the car, find the scene, but every time we try to make a turn to navigate ourselves, we get stuck or almost stuck in something like this. So, you never know how deep some of these washes are, especially when it comes right in the middle of the road there. People are kind of just gambling it, and to give you some more information about what we know. So what we know about that search that's underway, MCSO said they are looking for 2 people. They had said a woman and a man were in a car. The woman had gotten out of the car just to kind of check the wash and see how deep it was. So she got out of the car. She tried to put her foot in the water to see how deep it was. And at that point, it was raining so hard. The water, it was too much. It swept her away. And then the man who was in the car tried to get a hold of her, and the water was just way too intense. It took him to. So, we're really praying for a good outcome here, and hopefully those folks are okay. We did get a few emails into our newsroom that there's a wide search for these folks. It's not clear if they're searching for multiple people, but we just know of those 2. So we're going to jump back in the car, drive around a bit, and see if we can get ourselves over to where the search is happening. We'll keep you posted, of course, as we learn more on air, online, right here on the ground. Live in Whitman tonight, I'm Stephanie Dupre for Arizona's Family.
Yeah, Steph, you said it. I mean, just looking at a map of where you are, it looks like every quarter mile or so on that road, there's a wash that crosses the road. And as you said, it looks like many of them are running tonight. So we'll check back in with you, hoping for the best out there, hoping those first responders made it to those folks reported missing. Right now, we're going to head out to the East Valley. Zach Perletsky standing by. Zach, it looks like a lot of the washes, all this water running into Tempe Town Lake, it looks pretty full.
Yeah, Jared, it's more like Tempe Town River right now. Usually on a Friday night, we're talking cool weather. There's an ASU football game going on, kicking off about a mile from here in an hour. You'd expect maybe a little more action activity out here, a popular spot for people to run, walk their dogs. We're not seeing a ton out here except for a huge amount of water that has come into Tempe Town Lake. This is not what it typically looks like. A lot of the water has kind of funneled here, and if we can move our camera over to the dam, this is the Salt River. Usually just a very minor amount of water that is on the west side of this dam. We are on the west side of Tempe Town Lake, but right now the water is filling up the entire side from where we are standing near the Tempe Center for the Arts all the way across the street. So really just showing how much water has fallen, rain has fallen here in the Tempe area around, obviously several other places around the valley as well. And this is a sight that people who live in Tempe say they do not see very often. There was a couple of young ladies who came out here just to look at Tempe Town Lake. I was chatting with them. One of them says she's lived here for about 10 years or so. She says she has not seen Tempe Town Lake and the Salt River look quite like this in probably 3 to 4 years. And as soon as the rain stopped, she wanted to come out and just see the lake and see the Salt River for herself. So really just a good visual representation of how much water, how much rain we have had over these last several hours. Again, you're looking at the Salt River right now, just to the west of Tempe Town Lake. This dam typically keeps the river very minor, very minuscule in terms of the water flow. Not today because of all of the rain. So, you know, we're not seeing any rain, a little bit of wind gusts, but I am actually looking at blue skies out past the stadium. We are seeing a little bit of clouds closer to downtown Phoenix and the airport. So, you know, this is the scene, and the water's still rushing, so it probably will go for a little bit longer, guys.
All right, Zach Perlutsky live for us in Tempe tonight. Zach, thank you very much. Just getting some breaking news into the studio. We just got a message from the MCSO. Happy to report that the man and woman who were reportedly swept away in that wash up in Whitman, where Stephanie was just reporting a couple minutes ago, they found them safe. They were able to somehow get out of the floodwaters, make it to the side, make it to dry land, and they've been home safely. They've been taken home safely now. That was a scary situation because she just got out of the car to test the water level to see how high it was, how quickly it was flowing. She got swept away. He got out to help her, got swept away as well.
Yeah, it's amazingly dangerous right now where those washes are up and running. And you know, we're talking about Tempe Town Lake.
Right.
Zach was showing us that. A lot of that's coming from the Indian Bend Wash, which is running right now 2,000 cubic feet per second. What's that, Royal? 18 million gallons a minute going down that wash right now. So that's a lot of water. It's all going into Tempe Town Lake.
Powerful currents, too.
Yeah, very powerful. Yeah, you don't want to mess with them. So we do have our first alert days that are continuing for the rest of today, although things are quieting down tonight. But tomorrow we continue with the first alert day. We have another very good chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly in the West Valley, it looks like, for tomorrow. So we do have the first alert in effect. Strong winds, small hail, severe thunderstorm watch, and a 40% chance that we'll see some more rain tomorrow. Higher chances in the West Valley at this point. Satellite and radar showing you what's going on. It's just been going on for central Arizona for much of the day today. An incredible 7 hours of rain around here. And again, this is sort of a quasi-monsoon. It'll go down as monsoon totals because they run it through the end of the month, but it wouldn't be happening if we didn't have an area of low pressure that's rotating into Southern California and will continue to rotate in over the next day or so. That's why this thing is enhanced and we're seeing the big thunderstorms. So we do want to show the additional rainfall. Again, you can see it curly-cueing around the low out in western Arizona. Tomorrow, Lake Havasu could be up around 2 inches. Yuma, you folks could have a lot of rain too, and there's been some flooding issues in Yuma the past couple of weeks. The Casa Grande area, maybe a ½ inch of rain. Sierra Vista, maybe over an inch of rain. So we have a decent chance again for scattered showers and some heavy thunderstorms again tomorrow. Now around the valley, we think things will get kicked off during the late morning hours, kind of the same timing as we had today. And it does look like the west side is going to get the lion's share of the moisture tomorrow, with maybe a ½ inch at Buckeye, ½ inch for Glendale, ½ inch out at Luke, a third of an inch for Peoria. But on this map, you can see that the farther east you go in the valley for tomorrow, the less rain you're likely to get. First alert Doppler for you. Everything in red, that is flood warning activity. And it's basically encompassing all of Metro Phoenix. The washes are up and running, and there's a lot of street flooding. Severe thunderstorm warning until 5:45, mainly for the Superior area. This is the line of storms we're also concerned could impact the Miami area. And earlier, Derek was talking about delays up at Las Vegas. Well, they had some rain and some flash flood warnings in the area as well. So that may have been some of the issues with Las Vegas's problems at the airport. All right, first alert the rest of today and for tomorrow. We have a 40% chance, 40 to 50% chance for storms, 88 degrees. Sunday dry and 90. Warming up next week. By the end of next week, we'll be up around 100 degrees.
On your Friday, we are back with more live storm team coverage on this first alert weather day, seeing high school football cancellations for Friday night football. The state fair is off for tonight. We want to thank you for all the viewer videos helping us really get a better idea of what everyone's seeing. So many different pockets, but strong storms.
It is widespread.
Wow.
It is widespread. So the rainfall totals have been pretty impressive in different parts of the valley, different parts of the state as well. Let's check in with Holly Bach. This gives us a better sense of the magnitude of the storm. We haven't seen something like this in quite some time.
In years. It's the most rain we've seen in one single day since 2018. Today alone now makes it tied for the fourth wettest day since 2000. 1.64. We picked that up just today alone here at Phoenix Sky Harbor. And that's a gauge where we feel like we often almost joke that we don't get a ton of rain in that specific gauge itself. But today, the opposite kind of happened there. So here's what's happened so far today. Temperature wise, 11 a.m. we were at 90 degrees. By 1 p.m. our temps here in Phoenix dropped to the 60s. Wind gusts to about 55 miles an hour at Sky Harbor. That happened a little bit earlier today. We've also seen over 2 inches of rain in some spots across the valley, and a ground stop at Sky Harbor where tons of flights have been delayed throughout this afternoon, even early into this morning too. So yes, Royal mentioned this still does count in our monsoon total since we are still in the monsoon. And today's rain alone now brings us above average for our monsoon rain to date. What about your neighborhood? We have some spotty activity still, of course, popping up across the valley, so this will change. But look at this, Scottsdale, Tempe, over 2 inches of rain out there. We had over 2 inches in Fountain Hills, 1 inch in Deer Valley, over an inch in Glendale. And areas like Chandler picked up over 0.3 of an inch. So what about temperatures outside right now? Look at this. We're in the 70s and the 60s. When we compare that to the temperature just 24 hours ago, we're 33 degrees cooler right now than at this time yesterday. So I want to show you some photos and videos that you guys, our viewers, have sent into our First Alert Facebook page. Very helpful. I want to first start with this look out at ASU kickoff in 30 minutes. Out at Mountain America Stadium, we had some heavy rain come down in this area within the last hour or so. And here's a look at some of the players heading in the rain to get prepared for tonight's game at 6 p.m. against TCU. One of these players just loving the rain out there and forks up from this player. So yeah, we've had a lot of good videos. Have you guys seen this one yet? A waterfall on Camelback Mountain.
Yes.
Can you guys believe that?
Yeah, it looks like Hawaii or something, minus the palm trees.
Right?
Yeah.
And so hopefully people were off the mountains today because, of course, not a good spot to get stuck in some of this activity. And what about this one, guys? At the top of the Arizona gondola up at the Snow Bowl. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Some snow. They said snow came a little bit early this year up at the Arizona Snow Bowl. So kind of a cool view, of course, compared to what we're seeing here in the valley. Lots of rain up north, getting lots of snow. Here's another video, and we got a couple of reports of Waymos getting stuck in some of the flooded waters. This person writes it was actually smart enough to kind of reverse and get its way out of there. But look at that water, you guys. Of course, you see that sign there that says do not enter when flooded, but we did see already one vehicle someone in the vehicle need to be rescued out in Scottsdale because of the water that's been really filling some of the washes. So we'll continue to keep a look at your photos and videos, but we do have some new information that our severe thunderstorm watch that was in effect for a large portion of central and southern Arizona, that watch has now been canceled. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of a break. Royal will have the latest radar, guys, coming up in just a couple of minutes.
And Holly mentioned, thank you so much for all of those pictures. The Waymo getting stuck. We've been seeing so many pictures. One of our producers booked one to get to the airport. It was supposed to be, he said, a 27-minute ride turned into a 1 hour and I think 45-minute detour because it kept getting kind of shot by the rain, so it pulled into a parking lot, kind of stayed there. He's on the phone with, trying to work it out. They get back on the road and then goes into a parking lot again. Yeah. So they suspended operations for the day.
And he ended up taking a Lyft or an Uber to the airport. They sent us a statement saying that they're trying to remove all of the affected vehicles from the roadways right now. So safety first. At least they didn't try to drive through anything. The sensors were able to make that decision. Well, Holly mentioned ASU. Tempe, one of the areas, saw 2.5 inches of rain rain or more. They canceled tonight's official football tailgate party, but the game is still on.
Gates just opening in the last 30 minutes ahead of kickoff at 6 tonight. Our Michaela Castillo is live. I mean, you survived. You got drenched out there earlier, Michaela.
You know what, guys? Rain or shine, people are still, I did not make those. People are still having fun here in Tempe. We still have tailgaters out here. An hour ago, I'm not even kidding, it was pouring rain. Now the sun is out. People are starting to head to that game that starts at 6 p.m. But we were supposed to have the Sparky's touchdown tailgate that was right across the street. Usually that brings in about 5,000 to 8,000 people. That was canceled at 2:30 today. I was supposed to start at 3:30, but they just said the rain and the wind was absolutely crazy. 4 tents were torn down. Things were blowing all over. So for people's safety, they did have to cancel it. But again, we did talk to a lot of people who were still out here while that rain was coming down, and they said, you know what? Despite this rain dampering the tailgate, it does not damper the Sun Devil spirit. Take a listen.
I came out here to spend time with the family. They're out here. I wanted to be part of it. How many games do we get to come out and there's nothing but rain out here? One time a year, maybe? That's why I wanted to be here.
Okay, so the rain doesn't stop?
No, not at all. As long as we have the canopy and stuff.
I think it makes it more fun, if anything. I mean, it doesn't ever rain here, so I'm smiling as I was coming back from my test earlier today, just, you know, jumping through puddles and having fun. So, if anything, it makes it more fun.
Again, people were still out here. Surprisingly, we were out here. I'm still drenched from the rain, I will say. But that game is still going on. And like I said, the sun is out right now, so I don't see any cancellations in the near future. But of course, we will keep everyone updated as we monitor because it has been some crazy weather today. We'll send it back to you.
Here's another live look. I-17, I-10 interchange. We saw some crews out there trying to clear out kind of the drainage areas. Yeah, there's a lot of debris that's in the freeways. Looks like things are drying out. And again, that severe thunderstorm watch just canceled. We'll get a fresh check on the radar with Royal when we come back.
Know before.
As a director of finance, I'm managing 15 and 20 contracts a month. With Acrobat AI Assistant, I can summarize long contracts and identify key terms instantly. AI Assistant helps me compare 2 different versions of the same document for key changes. It makes me feel very confident that nothing's missing and everything's accurate. With AI Assistant, we're able to focus on what really matters: growing our business and finding new ways to reach soccer fans.
Welcome back to our ongoing First Alert weather coverage. Major storms hitting Arizona. Just got word from the FAA. The ground stop at Sky Harbor has been lifted now, so that's the good news. All traffic can come in and depart. There's just a backlog of it all night, so a lot of delays for the next 6 hours or so.
And our First Alert chief meteorologist, Royal Norman, is here. Are we easing up?
Yeah, we're easing up. In fact, it's almost go time for getting a break for sure around Metro Phoenix for tonight. But tomorrow, we're first alerting, may see some more storms. So let's check it out. We'll start off with First Alert Doppler radar to show you what's happening. Now, we still have the flash flood warnings, and there's still a lot of areas where we've got street flooding and, there's just water in the streets, and we've got our major washes up and running. Indian Bend Wash in Scottsdale is running very, very strongly right now. But it does look like the thunderstorms are beginning to move off to the east. Pretty strong, though, around Apache Junction right now. They're getting another round of action. Florence has also gotten some rain. But when you come from Apache Junction, the rest of the valley quieting down very quickly. So again, the severe thunderstorm watch got canceled out. As Holly mentioned, that was going to be out until 7 o'clock. They've canceled that out. So it looks like the threat for severe weather has gone down significantly around Metro Phoenix. And we're checking out the airport. Yeah, they're in great shape as far as weather is concerned. So hopefully, well, they won't really get back to normal today, will they? Because it'll just be one of those nights at the airport. So here is our big concern, though. We've got some big storms training towards southern portions of Gila County. There's Globe, and we'll go in a little bit closer. And there's Miami. Miami, which had some really nasty flooding yesterday. It looks like they're going to see another round of showers and thunderstorms, potentially heavy. Folks in Miami, time to pay attention to the weather as these storms move in from the southwest. They're moving at you at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. No flood warnings yet, but these storms could contain a lot of rain. All right, we're going to keep you updated on the rainfall amounts around the entire state and the valley. Also, a first alert 7-day forecast in just a couple of minutes.
Sounds good, Royal. Thank you. We mentioned the ASU game still on tonight, but we are seeing some outdoor events canceled by the storms.
The State Fair tonight has been canceled. That's where Amy Cutler is joining us live from the fairgrounds. Amy.
Yeah, Nicole, Jared, they just wanted, out of an abundance of caution because of the weather, to close down the State Fair for today. To talk to me about that, we've got Brianda Martinez, the Director of Marketing here. Tell me about the decision. What went into it?
Well, it was a difficult decision, and we haven't made a decision like this since 2018 when there was weather like this before. And so we made a difficult decision, but we wanted to make sure everyone is safe, and we wanted the best experience for everyone. We had a figure-8 racing plan, we had a drone show plan, and with this weather, we couldn't go forward with that. And so we want everyone coming through the gates to have the best experience possible. So we made the difficult decision to close today, but we're back open tomorrow and Sunday at 5 p.m. and starting October 2nd at noon up until October 26th. So we still have about a month left of the Arizona State Fair, and we just want everyone to have a great experience.
Tell me, it sounds like you had a contingency plan in place. Tell me when you made that decision and sort of what went into it.
So we started noticing, the heavy rain, places that, there was a lot of water. And a lot of these places are walkways, places where you sit down, where you eat with your family. So we said, if these places are not available for our guests, we can't have it open. We want everyone to have a great experience, to, see the drone show, see the figure-8 racing, and all that is not possible. And so, we're like, we have to close. We want to make sure that just everyone has the same great experience.
Tell me too, we've seen some crews around. Are they sort of monitoring the condition of things with the, the weather that's come through? We've seen a lot of rain and wind and all that.
Yeah, a lot of tents, a lot of, things that get, moved around. So we're just making sure that everything's back into place. We want to make sure there's no water in places where people are working at. But, we're going to take today to, get back up and get ready to open tomorrow at 5 p.m.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. That's it from the State Fair. Amy Cutler, Arizona's Family.
Amy, thank you. Yeah, even heard about a football game, a high school football game getting canceled at Arcadia. It's supposed to be ALA West as well.
Live look from our news chopper tonight in Scottsdale, where there's another car stuck in a wash. This is in the McCormick Ranch area, which is sort of really right down the road from that spot in the Indian Bend wash where that driver had to be rescued about an hour ago or so. Doesn't look like the water's too high there right now, but it doesn't take a whole lot of water to stall your car or draw a technical rescue out to a scene on a day like this. So we're going to continue our coverage, take a break, and we'll be right back.
Arizona's Family News is sponsored by Dolphin.
Adobe Acrobat Studio is all new. What can PDF spaces with AI do? Do your marketing needs in one spot. An AI assistant? Show me what you got. AI breakdowns on trend reports. Unlock key insights on the rise of shorts. Do quick summary, show me what to read. AI, give me just the numbers, please. Do a recap of all your learning. Add an AI graphic of potential earnings. Ideate, generate, do it all in one. Do that, doing that, did that, done. Now you can do that with Acrobat. Now you can do that with the all-new Acrobat.
It's a First Alert weather day, and we have our chopper up with a live look at an active water rescue that's just about to get underway. When we broke away to commercial break at the last couple moments ago, we showed you this car that's sitting in the wash. This is out at Hayden and McCormick. It's actually on the street, so it looks like it got flooded out there. It doesn't look like a lot of water is in the roadway, but it's enough to stall that car. And Jared, crews are moving in.
Yeah, we just watched the same thing play out about an hour ago, not too far from this spot. In this case, it looks like the water is only maybe a foot or two deep, so it's likely the car kind of just stalled out there, and the person inside made the decision to play it safe rather than sorry and kind of wait there for a technical rescue team to walk in. They typically will send crews from Mesa, Scottsdale, Phoenix, whoever's on duty who's trained for this kind of thing, to help the person who's stuck inside the vehicle. Last hour, everything worked out okay, and water was kind of up above the windshield in that rescue. And this time they were able to more easily walk out there and kind of assess the situation, and we'll see here in a couple minutes if they're able to pull someone out. They usually put a life vest on them for safety purposes, and then they'll open the door, and they'll help them walk out to dry land.
A helmet too, because you just never know the power of those currents. You can see kind of the white caps that are just beyond that car there as the water is making its way around that vehicle. And they're not just sending one guy out there, it's a team of 4. And yeah, you mentioned it. They put on a life vest. They often go out there with a rope that kind of gives them a little bit of safety leverage to get back to dry land again. And I was trying to determine if they were going to actually open the door of that vehicle. That would be quite a mess for that car owner there. Of course, the driver's safety, first thing top of mind, of course. But I'm not sure if they're going to pull him out the window there or not. But yeah.
I mean, what was it, maybe 10 years ago or so, they sort of redesigned the whole wash system over there in Scottsdale for those green belts to kind of collect all the water on a rainy day like this. So this is supposed to happen rather than having the water flood the homes and businesses nearby. But unfortunately, people think it's still okay to drive through there when there's floodwaters on the road, and this is the result. Looks like that person who was in there, one person, at least from my vantage point, is able to just kind of walk out with their assistance. And they always have a pole with them sort of to test if there's any debris that's hidden under the water, and to test if there's maybe a pothole or something that they don't want to trip and fall into as well. But they're used to this kind of thing. They train for this all the time. Sometimes even if you're at the Salt River, you'll see fire crews from different parts of the valley training for swiftwater rescues.
Does it look like they just walked back and forth just to test that exit strategy? Looks like it's going to be safe, and so they're just doing that before they get that civilian out of that vehicle. So open to the door, and you're right. This is the water has subsided considerably from the last hour when it was much higher, not too far from there. It looks like they've got that person out. And yeah, now it's, just above the ankles, but you want to make sure, obviously, that you've got a whole team steadying you as you get back to dry land.
Even in just a foot of water, I mean, you could see the current is flowing through there pretty quickly, so you could pretty easily get knocked off your feet. So looks like all's well there at yet another water rescue, which we've watched play out live here on TV tonight.
It was strong enough in the rescue that we saw in the last hour, not too far from this location, that it was taking road barricades, washing it down, and kind of rushing right up against that vehicle that was trapped in the water. So when you're dealing with this, and I think at that time it was still actively raining, so it's been a pretty wild day to see just the saturation of the soil, and all of it is rushing into the roadways there. So it looks like that person is able-bodied and off to the side. A lot of times fire crews will get them checked out just to make sure everyone's A-okay.
Yeah, it's right on the side of the golf course. I can't tell if those folks were golfing
after
the sun came out and came down to watch what was going on.
Neighbors came out to take a look at what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, this is happening here in the city, in the valley. It's happening out in the desert washes as well. A man and woman swept away up northwest by Whitman. They were found safe after they were swept away by a strong current as well. So we're watching this thing play out here in the valley and outside the valley in the desert as well.
Globe in Miami too. They had another round. They got hit yesterday. I've seen it strong enough to push trucks down the street. I mean, it's been pretty wild to see. Yeah. But we have been enjoying some amazing viewer videos that have been coming in, and everybody's, if it's safe to do so, pull out your cell phone, hit record, and upload it so we can share it on the air.
Looks like that's what this person did from inside a car as they were driving around downtown Phoenix. Caught one of the shop owners there near 24th Street in McDowell using the broom, whatever they had, to try and keep the water from ponding and coming into a shop there. I mean, all this is still unfolding right now, but we're going to see cleanup like this continue for the next couple of days, because a lot of homes, a lot of businesses must have at least some flooding damage in there tonight. We saw streets downtown with, what, 2 feet of water in some parts of the downtown area.
It had to feel like a fruitless effort, right? I mean,
doing what she can.
Royal, Scene, Holly, our whole weather team has been first alerting you for this flood threat that we knew was coming our way, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to really happen in Phoenix. And yeah, that's what we've been dealing with. So we're cleaning up after that, and we've got more live storm team coverage at the top of the hour. We'll take you around the valley and kind of get you caught up on the cleanup that's happening now.
azfamily.com, powered by CBS 5 and 3 TV. Sponsored by Desert Valley Hospice, always caring, always here, ready to provide the care services you want at the time and place of your choosing. Thanks for watching Arizona's Family. Watch us live wherever you are. Our mobile and streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, and Android TV. Subscribe on YouTube for live breaking news and video.
Right now at 6 o'clock, we are seeing severe flooding across the valley. We watched a couple of these rescues play out live on air in Scottsdale. This one at the Indian Bend Wash. Technical rescue crews sent in to get that driver out to safety.
Yeah, widespread urban flooding. Take a look at this shot from flooded streets in Phoenix today. Officially the wettest day in Phoenix in 7 years. Dropping temps almost 40 degrees in an instant. Some spots got more than 2 inches, and we even saw people pushing their cars, the water almost up to knee level. Pretty intense.
You can see her right there pushing the car down the street, kind of stalled right on a city street. I can't remember the last time I've seen something like this here in the valley.
Right there. Ouch.
Gosh. The ground stop that lasted most of the afternoon was just lifted moments ago at Sky Harbor. At one point, the airport had more delays than any airport in the world, and we have dozens of delayed and canceled flights through the night tonight.
We have live storm team coverage all day for you. Crews fanned out across the state, giving you the best look at the widespread impacts from today's storms. Let's start with Chief Meteorologist Royal Norman with the very latest on that first alert forecast.
Well, the good news for tonight is that it looks like the heavy showers and thunderstorms are going to be ending for the valley, but we do still have flooding going on right now. Washes are up and running, so care is the advice. Overnight break in the rain, but it'll be back. Storms returning Saturday morning, especially by late morning. And tomorrow we could see up to ½ an inch of rain in some valley locations. Not near as much as we got today, but still ½ an inch of rain at any location in the valley is a big day. One of the reasons we're getting this enhanced monsoon, if you will, is this area of low pressure in the upper atmosphere. Now, if this was like standard monsoon fare, we wouldn't have this low, making the atmosphere so unstable and helping these thunderstorms just to follow one another as they move through the valley earlier today with the hail and the heavy rain and the winds, especially around the McDowell Mountains. It's been very, very windy. That's the reason we had the enhanced storms today, and really lasted about 7 hours, 10 a.m. to about 4 to 5 p.m. Before we saw the storms even begin to wind down. Now, line of showers and thunderstorms off to the east of us. The valley does seem to be clearing off right now, with just a few lingering showers over in the Apache Junction area. Also some showers headed into Tonto Basin. Checking on Sky Harbor Airport, all clear. Things will be getting better, we'll put it that way, now that the rain has moved off. But these thunderstorms are still in the approach flight path for a lot of these planes. There is a big concern, though, tonight. Over in the Globe, Miami area, we now have a severe thunderstorm warning that includes Globe and Miami and Midland City and Claypool, and it runs until 6:45 this evening. Miami itself is right here, just to the west of the Globe area. And, you know, they had a ton of flooding last night at this time. The good news is it looks like this first line has moved to the south and sort of split, so we haven't seen heavy rain right in the Miami area itself, but we're keeping a very, very close eye on that. Rainfall amounts from now through tomorrow. The These are going to be additional amounts, more than what we had today along the Colorado River. Lake Havasu up around 2 inches, maybe 2/3 of an inch of rain at Yuma, and down at Sierra Vista, that could be over an inch of rain. And around the valley, kind of the same story in terms of the start time. About 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, things get fired up, but the story will be a little bit different. Mostly west side showers and not near as much as we got today, up to a half an inch on the west side of town. And checking out the east side of town, well, some areas may miss out on the rain altogether or get less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. So after that, are we going to see a big time warm up now that we've had some great cool air? First alert forecast is minutes away.
Royal, thank you. The washes are running. They are full tonight here in the valley and in the desert on the outskirts of the valley as well. So we've been seeing a couple of these. You just watched this live on the air here about 20 minutes ago. This was the scene in Scottsdale. 2 people stuck in this vehicle in the Indian Bend Wash in the McCormick Ranch area. Water levels, you could tell, not too high there, but that's all it took for the car to stall out. And the 2 people inside must have been concerned about the current there. Getting out of the vehicle on their own, so they called in a technical rescue crew to walk both of them to safety.
And another dramatic water rescue in that very same area live in our 4 o'clock hour. When the roads aren't blocked off, some people take a risk not knowing just how deep that water is and dangerous. Karina Rubio is live with that rescue.
Nicole, the scene is now clear here and the sun is starting to peek back out, but the water is still rushing pretty quickly here. And actually the water level has risen. Last time we were live with you in the 5 o'clock hour, it was at 3 feet. And you can see on that meter right here where the yellow flashing light is, it's pushing 4 feet now. So this car has become more submerged. But let's go to that video of that rescue. We got to the scene right as that rescue was happening. It took a while for those technical crews to kind of figure out a plan and to make their way toward that vehicle, but once they got there, they were able to pull that man out through the window. A fire official on the scene told me that before they made that rescue, the man who was inside the vehicle kind of gave them the thumbs up to let them know that he was okay. So he was able to keep his cool enough to kind of communicate with the firefighters and the teams on scene here. But as you can imagine, it still has to be such a distressing situation, causing a lot of panic as you kind of wait for those crews to get to you. Now, this is right behind apartment complexes in the park area here, and I talked to one woman who's lived here for 2 years and says she hasn't really seen it ever get this full at the wash here. So she was shocked to see this play out in her backyard, and she was also here in the moments leading up to that rescue. Here's what she said.
They had the windows rolled down, and so they're kind of like touching the water to see like if it was aggressive in that area or not. So, and then I think they told them to keep their hands inside.
Now, thankfully, fire officials tell us that the man is okay. No injuries were reported, but we also got video from another witness that was here, and that witness told me that a police officer was already here and the water level was already pretty high, and that car proceeded and drove through the flooded area here. So just another reminder to always play it safe. When you see any road like this flooding, even if it's lower than this, turn around and don't drown. And that's the best bet here. But thankfully that man is okay. We'll continue to keep you updated as we get more details from police on the situation. Reporting live in Scottsdale, Karina Rubio for Arizona's Family.
And Karina, you make a really good point that just because it stopped raining doesn't mean that the water automatically subsides in the washes, because the water's still running down from the mountains, collecting in the washes. So it could be quite a while before we see things dry out behind you. Karina Rubio live in Scottsdale tonight. Karina, thanks for that update. Meanwhile, 2 people were rescued after being swept away in a flooded wash up northwest of the valley.
It sparked an all-out search in a rural area near Whitman. Stephanie Dupree is there. What can you tell us, Stephanie?
Well, Nicole, we are now on the corner of Patton and 203rd Avenue. So we got a little bit closer to where that search was happening. It's about maybe 15 or so blocks in this direction. And we are, of course, happy to report that those folks were found safe. Their home is what MCSO had told us. Now, the reason that we couldn't get to that scene so quickly was because of this, all of this water. And Jared, just before you came to me after you talked to Karina, you made a good point. Just because the rain and all of that weather is over, the water is still very active in these washes and still at a level where cars really need to be careful as they're going through them. we've been in Whitman now for a little over almost 2 hours now, and every corner we turned, this is what we were running into. All these washes, and you never know, what's in it, how deep it is. So for the folks who don't have a lifted truck, and even those lifted trucks, you're really gambling what you're going through. And obviously, some of them going at high rates of speed, some cars taking it slow. Here's a perfect example. One going a little bit faster, one going a little bit slower. And then not to mention just the level. So Gary, my photographer, and I have been standing in this area for a little while now and kind of just watching the water. It seems as though the levels are subsiding a bit, but just before I let you go, I want to show you, it's doing what it can in the canal. So it's trying to make its way. That's how much rain we got. It was way too much all at once, and it's having trouble kind of, getting back into the canal and kind of getting the water to a good level. So, it's kind of interesting to watch and see how long that this water might be here. But we're going to kind of get around this area, see what more Whitman has to offer and how these folks are doing. We'll keep you posted for sure. Live in Whitman tonight, I'm Stephanie Dupre for Arizona's Family.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank goodness that that couple is safe tonight. But yeah, it's a lot of flooded out streets out there. Well, let's talk about that ground stop at Sky Harbor Airport. It lasted much of the day. It's now lifted.
I counted up on the boards. We have 80 flight cancellations this afternoon and this evening. Sarah Robinson has been there for us all evening talking to people. Sarah, a lot of people impacted by that situation.
Definitely, and I want to show you because things have really cleared up. If you remember when we were here around 5 o'clock, the line, the Southwest ticket line, went all the way down to the very end of the building. It was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people long, and now it's pretty much all cleared up. Of course, a lot of those people had their flights canceled. They will be spending the night in Phoenix. I talked to several people that said the earliest flight they could get to their destination is Sunday, so 2 days from now. I also talked to someone who had to cancel her trip altogether.
First, we booked a first flight and we were going to miss our connecting flight, so we canceled that, and then we booked another flight, and it keeps getting delayed hour after hour. We've been here since like 8:30 or 9 a.m. this morning. Yeah, trying to get to Nashville, so now we just canceled. Now I have to try to figure out how to get my checked luggage.
Oh, okay. So how long have you been in this line?
I don't know, 15 minutes maybe.
But you've been at the airport since like 9:30 this morning?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. How has it been today?
Exhausting, just trying to figure out what we're doing, and then we all did, because we're meeting another friend. We were going to meet another friend in Nashville, but now we just decided to just try to get home.
Yeah, and hopefully she is able to rebook that flight and reschedule that Nashville girls trip that she told me she was looking forward to. Now, I do want to show you a sight for sore eyes. We have clear skies. Clearish, I should say. But look, we have planes here, and we've seen planes taking off. We've seen planes landing, which we really haven't seen for several hours here since about 1 o'clock when we got here. So I'll send it back to you guys. Yeah, hundreds of people pretty upset today, but hopefully things get back on track soon and people can get their flights and get wherever they need to be. I'll send it back to you guys.
Boy, you could hear it in her voice.
I
that poor
know.
woman.
Sarah, thank you so much. Yeah, you got to imagine everybody's booking flights because you want to maximize your hours, and then you get stuck at the airport all day. You feel for them. If you haven't already, this is a great time. Download our free First Alert weather app. You can check the live radar and the Futurecast. It will show you where the action is and what's coming your way, where you live, where you work, where you play, and also any watches or warnings and alerts that pop up. You'll always be the first to know of any weather changes. More live weather coverage after this quick break.
In real estate, everything is in the details. Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant helps me confidently manage contracts so I can keep all parties on the same page. With AI Assistant, I can summarize key details in seconds. It even identifies differences in contracts. And my clients, they can go straight to Adobe Acrobat and sign right there. Adobe Acrobat and AI Assistant help me focus on what really matters, helping people find a place that they can call home.
Welcome back. Our news chopper is still live over the Indian Bend Wash in Scottsdale near Hayden and McCormick. You could see quite a bit of water flowing through there onto the roadways. And I can't tell if it's muddy or if that's a reflection from the sunset. I think it's probably a reflection from the sun setting this evening.
Oh, Royal says it is muddy.
Oh, it's muddy? It's muddy. Oh, goodness.
What a mess.
All right. Well, still a number of cars going through there. We've seen at least 2 cars get stuck, and at least 3 people have to get rescued by technical rescue teams from the East Valley, and it's going to be running for hours to come.
I feel nervous because they're like going into a very flooded out area. I don't even know. They're all following one car bravely. To what end? That doesn't look great.
Follow the leader.
Oh,
all right, let's check in with Amy Cutler, who's in the West Valley, or kind of central Phoenix West Valley area over at the fairgrounds. Amy, normally on a Friday night, that'd be pretty crowded behind you. The fair's canceled?
Exactly right, Jared. You'd expect a ton of people here to check out the concessions, the rides, the full experience here at the State Fair. But because of the weather, they have decided to close just for tonight. To speak to me about that decision is Briandra Martinez, the director of marketing here. Tell me a little about when that decision was made and why it was made.
It was a couple of hours before gates were opening at 5, and we made the difficult decision to close today. We want everyone to be safe and have the best experience possible at the State Fairgrounds. And so we said, you know what, let's close for today. Let's reopen tomorrow at 5 p.m. and just make sure that everyone who comes to the fair has a great experience that we want them to have.
And tell me, with all the weather coming through, has there been any damage to the rides or any of the equipment here?
There has been no damage, fortunately. We are good to go to open. We're just making sure that all the walkways, where people, the high traffic areas are nice and clean, and that everyone coming is safe and just is having the best experience possible. There's figure 8 races and a drone show that we have scheduled, so we want to make sure people can experience those. So we're also offering free admission online right now if you want to claim one, to come tomorrow or Sunday or any day throughout the fair until October 26th.
All right, thank you so much. You heard it here first. The State Fair will be back open tomorrow, and they're excited to welcome a lot of folks. So that's the latest here at the State Fair. Amy Cutler, Arizona's Family.
Amy, thanks. Let's head to Tempe. Tonight's ASU game against TCU is underway. In spite of the storms, the tailgate was canceled, but the game's going on, and Zach Perletsky is standing by live in Tempe. Zach?
Jared, I think like Amy, a Friday night with this type of temperatures, you'd expect to see a lot more people out at Tempe Town Lake enjoying the weather, but that is not the situation. One of the reasons, because of the rain that we had, and a lot of the rain that was happening to the north, to the east, and here in Tempe has kind of funneled into Tempe Town Lake, this popular pedestrian bridge, probably only 5 to 6 feet away from being overtaken by water, these water levels at a height that a lot of people in this area are not used to. So the rain has stopped here. The winds have been picking up a bit gusty, but we have seen several people come out to get their afternoon run, walk their pets, and a lot of people just coming out to see the water levels where they are right now at Tempe Town Lake, because they say they haven't seen them like this in such a long time. We had a chance to chat with a couple of young women about why they wanted to check this out after the rain stopped.
It's the aftermath of a flooding. I mean, it's the first thing you want to come see in Tempe is that this overflow. And if you just look down there, like, this is always empty, but seeing it like just flow down, it's pretty cool.
Now back live, this is another site that you don't typically see here at Tempe Town Lake. This is a look at the dam. We are on the west side of the lake, and if we keep going to the west, this is the Salt River. It looks more like a stereotypical river than what it usually does. The Salt River, pretty minimal, pretty minuscule in this area typically, but with all of the rain and all of the water we have gotten, this water really rushing here, and is probably going to continue to grow even though the rain has stopped right now for guys.
All right, we're finishing up a first alert weather day. The storms are beginning to clear off. We think we're done for tonight. We're going to refire the storms tomorrow, so we have another first alert weather day tomorrow. Mercury are paying the Lynx, right? They're playing the Lynx tonight. So we wanted to show you PHX Arena, which there was a ton of rain downtown earlier today. A lot of street flooding there as well. All right, here is the lowdown on our first alert days. We still have flooding out there right now. Washes are up and streets have got some water, as we've been showing, running in them. We'll get an overnight break. Storms will return tomorrow morning, probably late morning, and tomorrow about a ½ inch of rain is expected around Metro Phoenix. Look at this view from the Princess. Yeah, it's still pretty windy. This storm is still producing a lot of wind, but it looks like the rain is, and there's another shot. You can see our talking stick camera kind of wobbling a little bit in the wind, but yeah, it looks like we're pretty much done for the night around Metro Phoenix. Now we're concerned about areas to the east of us, strong showers and thunderstorms there. A quick check of Sky Harbor just to show you they're all clear now after a record day of rain at Sky Harbor Airport. And now we have some strong showers and thunderstorms moving up into southern portions of Gila County into the Globe Miami area. And that's of concern because Miami got flooding yesterday night, as you know. That severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 6:45 tonight, and we'll keep you updated on that. First alert day tomorrow. Thunderstorms likely, 88 degrees. We finish out the weekend at 90 Sunday afternoon.
Royal, thanks so much. A reminder that Cardinals high school football game of the week is still on tonight. Here's the matchup. South Point Catholic taking on ALA Queen Creek. Live coverage starts at 7 statewide on Arizona's Family Sports.
Upgrade your home at the Maricopa County Home and Garden Show.
Packed with over 1,000.
Do you love your bank?
Not really.
Okay, what if you had crazy ATM access? More than the top 3 national banks combined.
I'm always looking for cash. Who are we talking about here?
It's Chime. Join Chime, the #1 most loved banking app today.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back on this First Alert Friday. Hey, if you missed it, today has been the most rain we've seen in a single day in 7 years here in Phoenix. Sky Harbor picking up 1.64, now making it tied for the 4th wettest day since 2000. So what about your neighborhood? Areas like Tempe and Scottsdale picked up on some of the most rain, over 2 inches between Tempe to Scottsdale, over 1 inch in the Glendale and Phoenix area. Want to switch over to show you some photos and videos really quickly. Here's one that just came in from one of our viewers. This is in the Scottsdale area, and you can see it looks like a Scottsdale police officer is kind of trying to stop people from going into that far right lane, but right behind him, look at that water rushing through one of the washes. Again, this is near Camelback and Hayden, and you could see people are really trying to avoid the water that's now pushed over the railing in this area and is now flooding out a majority of the lanes on this street, again on Hayden near Camelback. So people are slowly driving through this area, taking it very slow, but we're seeing lots of flooding across the entire state. We have live team coverage through this 7 o'clock hour, guys.
Holly, thank you. And you know, here's something you don't see every day. We had so much rain. Look at that. That is a waterfall at Camelback Mountain. I'm so glad. Thank you, Brian, for taking that shot so we could share it on the air. Just stunning. I imagine he was getting drenched when he took that shot on Camelback. More live storm team coverage next at 6:30 on CBS 5.
ACFamily.com, powered by CBS 5 and 3 TV. Sponsored by Talking Stick Resort. Rule number 1, winning is everything. Visit the Valley's best resort and casino, Talking Stick Resort. Life well played.
Next, DT.